Hey, thank you so much for checking out my check writing monopoly resource. This is to help students with that essential skill of writing physical checks. I know it is a dying art. It is going the same way as cash, and we're using it less and less every year, but it is still something that we do on a regular basis. I know several times a month I will write a check or receive a check, and it's an important skill for us to transfer over to our students as well. So how this is going to work, game of Monopoly, you roll the dice, you move to the appropriate space, and let's say you owe rent to someone. You would normally count out the cash and pay that person. What we're going to do in this activity is we're going to take the cash away, and we are instead going to use checks for everything. So when a transaction comes up, the student will take one of their blank checks, they'll fill it out, they'll give it to the other player. The other player will then endorse the check and deposit it themselves, but both players are going to fill out their checkbook ledger. So they record the appropriate information and update their balance. So they'll write down the check number, the transaction amount, what it was for, and then add or subtract it to their balance so they can keep a running total of how much money they still have. All players are doing this, so there's no cash. Everyone's keeping their own register, but there is that paper trail of how much money they have. So if we needed to check someone's amount, we could figure out how much they have paid, how much they've written in checks, and how much they've received in checks, and we could get an appropriate balance that way too. If you have any questions, please do reach out. Would love to hear from you, and thank you so much for checking out my resource.